Cartilage as a tissue is an ancient tissue, having evolved before the vertebrates and being present in a number of invertebrate groups, including the gill arches of primitive chordates like the modern lancelets, which possess cartilage, or in the case of lancelets, at least a cartilage-like tissue. This actually became the first portion of the vertebrate skull known as the splanchnocranium, and it is the most prominent component of the skull of this lamprey and other early jawless fishes. Somewhere between the Ordovician and Silurian periods, the jawless fishes modified the first of these bronchial arches to produce jaws. The cartilages became larger and more mobile, and the early jawed fishes, from placoderms, cartilaginous fishes, and acanthodians, then possessed a pair of jaws derived from this splanchnocranium, with the dorsal portion of the first arch forming the palatoquadrate, the upper jaw, and the ventral portion of the first arch forming the Meckel's cartilage of the lower jaw. The second bronchial arch was modified to support the jaws with the hyomandibular cartilage and other pieces as well. The other bronchial arches remained in their ancestral role as gill supports. In later vertebrates, the splanchnocranium decreased in significance, and with the evolution of tetrapods, gills were no longer functional in adults. However, even in mammals, embryonic pharyngeal arches form with a splanchnocranium, with cartilaginous bronchial bars, and these still contribute components of the adult mammalian skull. The first branchial arch forms the incus, one of the middle ear bones, and a portion of the sphenoid bone, the alus sphenoid. The ventral portion of the first bronchial arch forms the malleus, also one of the middle ear bones. The second branchial arch forms the third middle ear bone, the stapes, and two portions of the hyoid bone. The third branchial arch forms another portion of the hyoid bone. Bronchial arches 4 and 5 produce cartilages of the larynx, and bronchial arches 6 and 7 do not form any functional part of the adult skull. And so the splanchnocranium is not only the oldest part of the vertebrate skull, it still makes contributions to not only the skulls of sharks, but also even mammalian skulls.